Like this is
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, peace, family. Welcome to the Brother to Brother podcast, where we are focused on real solutions for real men in real life. And I'm your host or co-host, Brother Baruti Mariaman, joined with my main man. You know, you go through life and you meet people, right? And sometimes you meet people and they're here and then they're gone. I mean, they can make an impact, but they're here and they're gone. And so you don't really get the opportunity to form that main man status.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm really happy to say that I got my main man, King Morpheus the monk, with me here. We're co-hosting this show, and we're both water signs, so you know how this is going to be. I'm gonna just let you know now, but we're happy to be here. Uh, Go ahead, bro.
Hey, bro. Thanks for the introduction. It's a pleasure being here. But yeah, speaking of them water signs, there's something happening in some water over in Florida right now.
Hey, bro.
So that's kind of like something that a water sign can do. Like it can destroy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
It can adapt.
absolutely.
It can adapt. It can become whatever it encounters.
Yeah, yeah. No doubt about that. No doubt
Mm-hmm.
about that. You know, for those that are listening or that are going to see this podcast, obviously we're kind of working towards some things, and we'll be talking more about that as we progress. But I think it's kind of important, bro, for our listeners to have some understanding about our history and how we kind of got to this moment. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
uh, how did we arrive here? And I think our stories, the way we probably describe it is probably similar, but still, I think you know it's good for them to kind of hear from us, like how we perceive ourselves as getting to this moment, like right now. So why don't you kick that piece off, and then I'll piggyback wherever
Yeah.
we'll tag team on it as we always do. But I'm just saying, you kind of go ahead and set it up, Mr. Scorpio.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
Well, the people don't know that I'm a master barber by trade. That's what I do. And I was working in the shop. What year was this, man?
Oh, bro, listen, man. Listen, Jackson is 23.
Uh-huh.
So, bro, bro, I don't even know, man. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, like, I really have to like sit down and find like some markers in
Yeah.
time to
Mm-hmm.
get an idea of when it is, but it's got to be at least 13 years
Yeah, but it was
because I
yeah,
figure Jackson was 10 or younger,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
uh, when we first, when you set up what you're setting up right now.
But our memories, but what happened was you came into a shop that I was working at, and
Hmm.
I guess I was pretty new over there or whatever, but you was
Yeah.
just coming to get you and your son's haircut.
Now that was the place right there at Deshaun and Rockford.
Yeah, yeah, it's called
Go
One
ahead.
to
Okay.
Cut. A
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
a guy
Yeah.
named Rock he owned it. I don't know if he owned it now, but
Right.
I
Right.
was just I was passing through. I had I was just finding my way through,
Bro,
Georgia or
bro,
whatever.
you're a water sign. You ain't got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
explain that, bro.
Hey, but nah, what it was, and I don't remember the conversation we had, or
Right.
we chopped it up like men, and
Right.
then by me moving around like water, by the time you came back, I was gone, and you
Hmm.
called me like, bro, where you at? And I had
Yeah.
moved
Yeah.
all the way, like we was We where was we at? Was that what you
Man,
call it?
you were out in like
No, I'm
Oxford
saying
or
where
someplace,
was
weren't you?
one to cut at off of Deshaun? That was in
That
Stone
was the
Mountain. Or,
that's I guess that's no, that's Lithonia, I think. That
okay,
corner.
well I
Yeah,
guess
it's Stone Mountain. No, it's Stone Mountain. I think it's Stone
okay.
Mountain.
Well, Stone
Yeah,
Mountain Lithonia, and I had moved maybe 30 minutes away to Conyers,
yeah.
no, to Covington.
Covington.
And
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
you called me like, bro, where you at?
yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm saying I'm in Covington, like you gonna be like, man, that's too far. You like, what's the address? I'm on my way. And I'm talking about from that moment, man, we've been inseparable, man. Like
Yeah, man.
we built a brotherhood, a friendship, like
Yeah,
our
yeah.
families, like everything just start to merge together. Like, you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
It was deep, man. It you know how we are we you from New York, I'm from Ohio, so we in a strange land. Even though,
Right.
you know, they say our ancestors and stuff was from the South and
Yeah.
we came back, but you know, it just the way we linked up, man, and just start vibing. And the funny thing about it, like, and this, and I'm gonna let you speak after this.
Nah, nah, bro. Go. Keep rolling.
We used to record our dialogue all the time, bro,
How
before
about that?
YouTube became the thing, bro.
YouTube. Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
man, I still got recordings where we put the camera and just
Yep.
went in.
Man. Man. Hey, bro, I think that as we kind of move this thing forward,
Hmm.
we're gonna need to like dig those up, like
Yeah,
from the archives,
yeah,
and just let the family see that stuff, man,
yeah.
because you're right, man. I mean, I remember you did that first cut, and to those that are listening, when I tell you that my brother is a master barber, that's what I mean. I mean,
Appreciate that.
no doubt. I mean, I
Hmm.
remember, I was in the chair, man, and man, he whipped out that razor, man, and I didn't know if I should go from a gun or what, but he whipped out that razor, man, and and it was like, whoa, right? So, especially when it comes to uh, uh, a barber, you know, I'm a big believer in, as long as he didn't cross the state lines, I was gonna go wherever he went,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm totally with that. But this is the piece of the history that I think that was pretty, monumental for
Hmm.
us,
Hmm.
Will. And it was in the shop because we would always be in there, chopping it up in the shop or over at Rosita's or one of these places. But I'll
Hmm.
never forget, bro. We were in the shop, and I came in and I was talking about something, right? And I'm sitting in the chair, and you were doing me up. Yeah, you know where I'm going. You were hooking me up, and I'm talking, man. And I was, bro, family. I was singing the blues, man. I was. I mean, just needed some cheese to go with the wine. I mean, it was. And brother man spun my chair around towards the mirror, and he said, "That's the guy that did it." And yo, when he said that, it was like, damn, you know, that's right.
Yeah.
And I think that, from there and all the dialogue and all the conversations, and I was doing a stint at one point with a show, and which is where we came up with the brother to brother
Hmm.
concept, right? Because I mean, we were just chopping it up because we were chopping it up.
Yeah. But
But
what about our other podcast, the Master and the Man in the Mirror?
Master the Man
Like
in the
we
Mirror,
we
that's right.
yeah,
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 that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I think it's important because you know we were doing this when it wasn't popular.
Hmm.
We were doing this when maybe when people weren't making millions off of it,
Hmm.
like they are today.
Hmm.
And but what I gotta say, bro, I mean, is that from then until now, right? Um, I'm not going to say that you haven't changed, because I mean, change is inevitable in some
Mhm.
instances,
Mhm.
but the vibe has always been the same.
Mhm.
Like, we sit down, we start talking, and excuse me, I just finished eating something I shouldn't have been eating. I'm not going to tell you what that was, but the vibe has always been the same, and I think that that's why I personally believe that you know um, while we can certainly look at it and say to ourselves, yeah, man, we should have done this thing, or you know, I think like the name of the show and the name of the organization suggest, real solutions for real men in real time. And I think
Definitely.
that,
Mhm.
from that perspective,
Mhm.
we're on time.
Yeah.
We're right on time.
Mhm.
And what can be accomplished even exponentially, because we're kind of moving in our purpose as it relates to this. So, to our listeners, we want you to know, man, that this is really, it's a continuation for us, but it's a beginning for you now, that we're inviting you to be a regular part of these conversations that we're going to have. And I'm gonna just tell you, you know, we go left sometimes. I
Mhm.
mean, we
Mhm.
just, you know, right before we went on the air today, we were starting to go off, and we were like, "Yo, we
Mhm.
better start recording,"
Yeah.
because, you
Yeah.
know, um,
It's
but
organic,
bro,
man.
it
It's
is.
organic. It goes, man.
hmm hmm But bro, I wanna just drop something on you, man, and we'll talk a little bit about the name and what all of that means, etc. But man, for a lot of folk, man, there's a lot of folk that do know, this month that we're in, and this is also why we wanted to make sure we started this month. This month is National Suicide Prevention Month, and just in kind of looking at that, I want to share, you know, on air, and then reshare with you, my brother, just some statistics that kind of go along with this whole issue of suicide. And I found a lot of it alarming. I'm gonna just be
Mhm.
honest with you, man.
Mhm.
You know, in 2019, bro, 125.6 suicides per day.
What?
Yes, sir.
2019.
Yes, sir. And of that 125.6, 17.2 of them were veterans, which I do stuff with that in terms of my 9 to 5.
Mhm.
Um, 125.6, and I guess, listen, I mean, that's alarming. Since 9/11, we all know 9/11, airplanes hit the Twin Towers. Uh, since 9/11, 30,000, and I'm only going to touch the military side of it uh, just for a moment, and then broaden it again, because we can build on any aspect of it that we want to.
Mhm.
Since 9/11, 30,177, and this was as of September 11th of this year. So, we're at the end of September now, so this number may have changed, but 30,177 active duty and veterans since 9/11
Mhm.
died by suicide. 30,177 died by suicide, averages out to about 4 per day, compared to 7,057 military men and women that were killed in active combat during that same time. So for every one soldier killed in combat, somewhere around 4 were committing suicide, not being engaged any longer. Well, being either actively engaged or as a veteran. So you had a better survival rate in active combat than you did outside of that. Now, here's what's interesting about that number, because that's a 1 in 4 number, right? Get ready for this, bro. For every one woman that commits suicide, 4 men commit suicide. Every one man, 4 women. Men make up 49% of the population, but we represent 80% of suicides.
That's wild. That's wild. Because something's transpiring.
Mm,
Something is going on to where I don't know what it is, but I just know in this society that we in, we're kind of like led by someone else's agenda, or you understand
mm,
what I'm saying? So
mhm,
even the military, it's like being in the military, they set this standard, and they set this mindset, and they train the soldiers and so on and so forth. And to speak on 9/11, that kind of like exploited the safety, confidence, or the arrogance that the United States had,
mm,
because it was almost like for years we was led to believe we was kind of like untouched. You understand what I'm saying? But that's why there's a lot of theories that kind of believe that the United States staged it all, kind of like
mm,
from inside, because they had us believing for so long that we was untouchable. So if you know, and I'm just hype, I don't do hypothetically, but just
right, right.
striving to find an understanding of why so many soldiers committed suicide.
Mm,
It's kind of like the veil, you understand? And then maybe things happen in the military. You go to war and you got to do things, you got to blow people up, you got to do this and do that. And some people might couldn't live with themselves after that, or even the thought of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't know the extent of it,
sure, sure.
but suicide is real. Like
Absolutely.
I know 3 people offhand that committed suicide.
Mm,
And all 3 of them, it was like I would have never thought of that. Like that's just something hard to think of when it deal with a person, but you know, beautiful people, man. It's just like
mm,
and then you don't know what, a lot of times, not a lot of times, but the times I'm talking about, they didn't leave a note
mhm,
or nothing. So it's like, what was it? You understand? Like you leave
mhm,
your loved ones and friends and so on, you leave them just dumbfounded, because it's like you didn't say anything, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
Or we didn't know that you said something.
mhm,
You
mhm.
understand? Like you might have
Yeah.
had regular conversation, and that might have been yourself crying out, but people maybe didn't detect it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Well, you know what? Along those lines, the 2/3 of the individuals that committed suicide suffered from depression.
Okay.
So when you say like what you just said, um, and you reference the fact that we really don't know, well that kind of goes along with depression
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
depression is not necessarily something that you're going to know exists. Like, for example, you meant the three people that you mentioned that you know personally that committed suicide. When you think of your interactions with them, and I'm assuming that you had some interactions with them, you know, uh, obviously prior to them ending their life, did you think that they were depressed?
Um, no, one. I'm gonna say no to the question, but one of them was dealing with uh a federal case,
Okay,
and he would
real life, real life.
he was stressed. The
Yeah,
stress of it. What I'm saying, just and I don't even know if that was the case. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was the case because he was a client of my brother Pyro. But
right, right,
we had, Pyro been cutting him so long to where we interacted. You understand what
right.
I'm saying? So it was like, don't know, and then the thing is, and that's just in theory,
Hmm.
but the way that they depict prison in this reality,
Hmm.
some people might be like, you know what, I'm good on that. And like I said,
Mm.
I don't know that's the case. He didn't leave a note or nothing, but that's just something I knew that he was dealing with.
Right, 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 right. So, even with that, um, you know, one, that they're dealing with that situation,
Hmm.
but are you thinking to yourself when you see the person, even if it's, a brother Pyro that's doing the cut, are you looking at him and thinking to yourself, yo, man, this guy, man, I think he's depressed, man. He might kill
Hmm.
himself.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
Or for the other two, right? Who, because again,
Hmm.
like I think about like our interaction, right? I come into the shop, every 2 weeks or whatever it was, and dealing with real life,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
From the last time that we connected until that next time, and and whatever that real life is dealing me
Hmm.
during that time, and going through it.
Hmm.
So when you see me the next time, because here's the thing, like for men, I believe that we're real good at um, wearing that mask.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That
Hmm.
facade.
Hmm.
And there are a number of reasons for that, and I'm sure that in the course of our conversations we're going to touch on those. But one thing that just kind of stands out to me right now is, you know, we don't want to have to say that we don't know. Like, you know, relationship, career, your money, you name it. Yo, you can be struggling, and it's like, bro, what's going on? You don't want to say, man, I really don't know. Man, I mean,
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm about to be living in my car,
Hmm.
or whatever is going on.
Hmm.
And my real point with that is just that when you're talking about something like depression, the signs are not always as visibly as easily recognized
Hmm.
as we might think, unless it's something that you either have been trained to, or that you just pay attention to in general.
Mhm.
Because I think to myself that if 4 of the 5 suicides that are going to happen is going to be men, it means that we're missing something.
Mhm.
You feel me?
Mhm.
Right? For every one person that quote unquote, and I'm using this word very loosely, that succeeds at committing suicide, 275 seriously considered it.
Man.
Now, the one, like in your case, bro, you said 3 people, right?
Mhm.
I know one.
Mhm.
But if for every one, 275 contemplated it, and of that 275, we know that 80% of those are very likely men. To me, what that says is there's a very great likelihood that right within our own circle,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not saying 275 is a huge number, but I'm saying that there's a great possibility that right in our own circle, maybe even in our own
Mhm.
house,
Mhm.
we are interacting with someone, and
Mhm.
this is no shade on women because a life loss is a life loss, but we're
Mhm.
talking about men right now. There's a great likelihood that you and I are interacting with a man or men that are seriously considering ending their life.
That's heavy. That's heavy because I don't know the one that you referring to,
Hmm.
but if it's not the one that used to work at the shop, you
No,
know
it's
two.
not. It's not.
Yes, you know
Yeah,
two
because I
then.
know about that.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
know
That's
two.
right.
So
That's right.
yeah,
That's
so
right.
it's it's deep, bro, because the thing is, me, you've been knowing me for a long time. I like to joke, I like to laugh, that's what
Right.
I'm
Right.
about. So I used to be like, I'm gonna commit livercide. Like I'm about to live. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like you
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Because it's like it's the other side of the spectrum. Like, and I understand like it gets dark, like in
Hmm.
our minds, because things be like what the thing about us, we program like men to fix it, to create
Hmm.
solutions. That's just how our minds work. But when we're unable, or we feel helpless, or we can't create a solution, it make us we go in, like it gets dark. You feel like a failure, or you understand what I'm saying? Just it's
Hmm.
just a natural thing because by you being a man, or at least you thinking you're a man, you know what I'm saying? Because man is a lifelong journey. That's a
Hmm.
lifelong metamorphing process. And what happens is, as a man, we have that tendency to be arrogant or ego. So it's like you be like, how could this happen to me?
Hmm.
So instead of, and I'm just like I said, I'm fair, I'm just the theoretic sizing, whatever that word is.
Right. Theorizing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like, is a person just gives up because it's like you can't fix it, and then you feel like, okay, I'm a failure, and then you think you fell in the people you around, and so on and so forth, and it's like, nah, man, they enjoy you,
Hmm.
like, and the things that you do make happen, and the things that you do provide for, they're grateful. But it's like, if you come to them and speak to them like, yo, man, we got to live in a hotel for a couple days or something like that, and it's funny because I done been in different situations, and my children and my wife, and it was like everybody was happy. Like, I'm like,
Hmm.
man, because a lot of time things can distract you. Assets and different stuff like that can really deter who your natural self is.
Yeah.
We attach ourselves to accomplishment, and if you ain't accomplishing on the outside, it's like, that D word, like you said, depression can
Right.
possibly kick in. And it's just,
Yeah.
my thing is, I was telling a client, and I was just like, matter of fact, I was talking to my daughter as well. It's like, is we get these voices in our head, and it be the same voice that sound like the one we talk with.
Hmm.
And that voice can say things that's really not true.
Yes, sir.
And I was telling my daughter, like, listen, man, if you start hearing that stuff, if you hear that, man, you gotta tell yourself, because you know how they say don't talk back or whatever to yourself, but nah, I'll be like, nah,
Nah.
tell yourself you
Right.
lying. I know I'm better
Right.
than that. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
because your mind picks up on all frequencies. And I
Hmm.
had wrote some one time, like, man, you got to think about what you're thinking about, because you might be picking up your neighbor's thoughts, your spouse's thoughts. You understand what I'm saying? The
Yep.
it's just, it might be the neighborhood you in. You picking up thoughts that's not yours, and you got to know, like, these ain't my thoughts.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I done found myself plenty of times like, no, these ain't my thoughts, man. Let me reset right quick. Cause it's
Mm.
like, I'm not, you know how you can be thinking, man, like, without directing your thoughts and your mind to just go different places. You got to have
Hmm.
enough will and enough strength to be like, hold on, that ain't
Right.
my thoughts. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I shake my head and be like, take a breath, like, no, that ain't mine. That's somebody else's.
Hmm.
Cause
Hmm.
it's just, but again, I'm just a fan. I'm a fan for life. I enjoy the air I breathe and the
Hmm.
experiences. Like one time we was talking, I was like, man, you got to be grateful you got a son or a wife to
Right. Right. Somebody to fight
even,
with.
yeah, somebody to fight with, man. Like, cause not, people got people that they done lost in life, and they don't even
Yeah.
have that person there to even have a disagreement with. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
me and my wife have a disagreement. It start off like you feel a certain way, then I'll be like, man, I'm grateful. Like,
Hmm.
I actually have a wife to disagree with. So, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You just,
Hmm.
that's how I look at things, man. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. What's crazy, and I was writing something, and I'll share this with you when we go off air
Okay.
today,
Mhm.
because I think it'll be an excellent topic for us to come back and build around. But you know, when we say, you know, uh, real solutions for real men in real life,
Mhm.
um, I think that, one of the things that it's really important for our listeners to understand is that, um, you know, we're going to have fun with this
Mhm.
show. Ain't no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
we're planning stuff long term,
Mhm.
special guests, um, group seminars, the whole nine. We're going to do that. Um, but everything we do really is designed to move towards that focus of real solutions.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
just wanted to maybe, just stop on that for just a minute, because when we talk about real solutions, I think that it's important to understand that iron sharpens iron, brother.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, I have yet to see a piece of iron be sharpened by a stick of margarine,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
or by a piece, or even by a piece of wood.
Mhm.
You know, iron sharpens iron. So when we talk about real solutions, we're talking about solutions that are really designed to bring the best out
Mhm.
of us, which can only be accomplished through iron sharpening iron.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, so dialogue, open, frank, honest, dialogue
Mhm.
about where we are, because we were just talking about what happens oftentimes with brothers when it comes to, and when I say brothers, I'm not just talking about the black and brown skinned brothers. I'm talking about, because those statistics are not exclusive to black and brown men. I'm
Mhm.
sure that,
Mhm. Mhm.
there's a time for that. There's a time and a place for that. But what I'm saying is that, we identify the fact that, for most of the
Excuse me.
men that are in these situations, we're not seeing anything that's indicating that this person is thinking about doing this. So
Mhm.
what that tells me is that from the standpoint of solutions, you know, we have to create, as part of this platform,
Mhm.
opportunities for men to, which goes into kind of like the real men piece, but for men to really, really do it in such a way that it feeds into who we are. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? It's like
Mhm. Mhm.
trying to address the situation as something other than what we are
Mhm.
is not going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
So we have to look at ways, we have to look at solutions that are truly consistent with the way we as real men
Mhm.
process,
Mhm.
because that's the only way from a long-term perspective that we can really expect to see real solutions, real
Mhm.
outcomes.
Yeah.
That said, bro, when we say real men, talk about what that means from your perspective.
Real man is like, it's not common. You understand?
Mm,
Because it's beyond a provider and all that stuff we've been pushed to. You know what I'm saying? Because that aspect of man
mhm,
has been taught. It's been some misnomers in that. Just put it like that. Not saying that it's wrong. It's
right,
just some things missing. You
right.
understand? Because men, we lack transparency. Like we don't want to talk about it
Mm,
because naturally we've been taught that ain't being a man. You understand?
mm,
But that not talking about it or going to a brother or friends to help come up with a solution can add more stress to you. You understand? So we talk about suicide. That's what we talking about, but that stress can kill you too.
yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
another
sir.
form of suicide because
Yes, sir.
you haven't seeked a way to find the solution. So a lot of times, because men, you know what I'm saying, we and this is not to belittle us, but our mind thinks like this narrowly. Like
Hmm.
it's hard for us to, we can't focus on more than one thing.
Right.
So a lot of times if it is depression that we dealing with, we all in. You understand what I'm saying? It's like we just know how to tune in on something.
Hmm.
And it's just like, I just learned to be an open book. I learned to say, it was one time, it was me and my wife and one of her friends. This was years ago. And I probably had foreclosed on our house maybe like 3 years before that.
Hmm.
So we was just talking, and I said it, like I mentioned, us losing our house. Well, losing our house like 3 years back, and when we got in the car, my wife was like, "Why did you say that?" And I'm like, "It happened. Like I'm not ashamed about that. Like this type of stuff happens all day, every day. You understand?" So and bro, I know I done told you this, but you might not remember. It probably was no more than 1 week later where this same lady that my wife was like kind of, I ain't gonna say my wife was embarrassed, but she was concerned why I said it to her. Not,
Mhm.
I'm talking about it had to be, man, like 7 days or less. She came to my wife and told her she was losing her house.
Wow.
You hear me?
Wow.
But dude,
Wow.
and I mean, I don't know, but I don't even think she would have said that to her if I didn't become transparent.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So the in the purpose in that, it just it made her realize like possibly that, damn, okay, this ain't abnormal. It happens
Mhm.
and you can recover from it. You understand what I'm saying? So think about her dealing with that, not having the person to talk to, but when I revealed or became transparent about our life, because for some strange reason, people judge what they see. They
Mhm.
feel like like you was talking about depression, how people hide it, and it's just like we put on this facade. And I'm not good at that, man. Like, I'm not good at faking. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I might not say nothing and let people believe stuff like my belief. People think I'm a Muslim or whatever. I might do that just for fun. But
Mhm.
when it comes to an experience that I experience or what I'm going through, I feel like we all messengers and we all here to help one another. So I'm gonna put it out and we're gonna chop it up and we're gonna create a solution for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Bro, I can truly dig that. And you know, that level of there's one thing I want to introduce this thought to your consciousness to
Mm-hmm.
consider, not as a contradiction to anything you said, but
Mm-hmm.
as a build, because I was talking about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because a lot of times people will say that, they say I'm transparent,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how
Mm-hmm.
important it is to be transparent. But the scientific definition of the word transparent
Mm-hmm.
means that light is able to shine completely through the thing and be seen on the other side
Mm-hmm.
of the thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever is inside of it, you don't even get that
I got you.
because the light
I got you.
is
That's
going
heavy.
straight through.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So a lot of times people will say, and I know what we mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
It
They'll
became like
say,
ebonics. Like it
I'm
became, yeah,
I'm transparent,
yeah,
right? But technically, if you're transparent, we don't see shit,
yeah. I got you. I got
right?
you. I feel you. I
So
feel
the
you.
so the so the and words are words, right?
Yeah,
Words,
yeah,
spells, and we like the word nice, right? Yeah, I'm a
yeah,
nice
yeah,
guy. But
yeah, yeah.
really, right?
Yeah, yeah. You
Okay,
stupid and foolish.
you're
Yeah.
stupid, right?
Yeah.
Right. But the word that we actually want to, I believe, strive to within our interactions, same everything else you said, I would
Mhm.
just replace the word transparent with intimate.
Intimate.
Yes,
Intimate.
intimacy.
Okay. Okay.
See, now, man, this is
Hmm.
what happens with us. The water, we could go in a whole nother direction with the intimacy conversation.
Hmm.
I'm just going to say this, that for most folk,
Hmm.
when they hear the word intimacy, they start thinking about sex.
Yeah.
They start thinking about physical closeness.
Mm-hmm.
And intimacy is the actual word that suggests that you're open,
Yeah. Into
that
me, I see.
that there you go.
Yeah.
That so whatever is there, it's on display.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not getting you to shine the light on me so you can see it on the other side to know
Mm-hmm.
that, hey, there ain't nothing there. Ain't
Yeah.
nothing there,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I'm saying is, and you know me, man, I'm building directly on what you just
Oh,
talked about,
definitely.
where
Nah, bro.
real
This what
men
we
is
do.
concerned.
This what we do.
Yeah, this that the key is, and this is where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Real solutions for real men.
Mm-hmm.
As real men, we have to be able to be intimate with each other.
Definitely. Definitely.
Now,
And
and if you
vulnerable.
think about it, well, there's no choice,
Yeah, you're
right?
right. Yeah.
Because if the minute that I make that decision that I'm going to become intimate with you, it is a natural outcome that
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what happens is that's where the problem is at.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, you and I know, we know this from some circles that we roll in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you will ask a brother, hey man, how's it going?
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, oh man, it's all good, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making it happen.
Yeah.
And he's lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, but to, to, and when he's saying that, what he's saying, bro, I'm being transparent with you,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But what he's actually
Yeah.
doing, what he's actually unable to do in that situation is be intimate with you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is be and be intimate, and then have along with that be the consequential vulnerability that's going to come with it.
Definitely.
So with what we're talking about doing, where this is going, is that this platform, and this is why, bro, you and I have talked about this. There may be some things, like when we set up our conferences and stuff, or group things. There's some things that we may not necessarily fully discuss on the air,
Definitely.
because
Yeah.
because you and I in our building, we might be able to go deep and cut deep and do it in an open sense, because that's just the way we are.
Mm-hmm.
But as this movement grows, and as the brothers that are going to realize that this is what they've been waiting for,
Mm-hmm.
as they connect and link up with this, man, there's stuff that we're going to be exposed to from an intimacy
Mm-hmm.
standpoint
Mm-hmm.
that is just going to need to stay between the brothers. Now, which is a whole nother thing, because of the whole challenge of the issue of trust between brothers. But
Mm-hmm.
again, there we go. Bro, I just wrote down 3 topics here that we're gonna
Okay.
have
All
to,
right.
yeah. So, but we're talking about, so real solutions, solutions that match who we are,
Mm-hmm.
real men. That is, as men who are not transparent
Mm-hmm.
but intimate,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in real life,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and of course, I want you to tell me what your spin is on real life. But what when I first when I heard that, the thing that kind of came to my mind, no kidding, was that not like cartoons.
Yeah.
I thought, because I
Yeah.
remember, kind of growing up, you'd be watching TV and you'd see something, and it would be like, that's fantasy, but this is real life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that when we talk about real life, we're talking about the things that men are dealing with on a day-to-day basis, that would
Mm-hmm.
that would consequently result in 4 out of 5 of the suicides that are committed being happening with men.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about real life,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about the things that are going on as soon as you and I end this call
Yeah.
in terms of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
we are family. We don't just do this for the air. Me and Morpheus are tight. So
Mm-hmm.
he's into me to see, and I'm into him to see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm saying that when this goes off the air, and for any brothers that listen, when it ends, those real life things that are happening
Mm-hmm.
is what we are focused on providing solutions for. But what's your spin on real life, bro?
Man, it's deep because you used the analogy of cartoon,
Mm.
but with social media, that's like another form of cartoon or fantasy
Man,
and so on and
wow,
so forth because
wow.
it's stuff that's going on outside of that. You understand? Like the stuff that I consider real is the stuff that people don't post.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? The stuff that I
Hmm.
see people try to glorify is real out on the other side of that. You
Mm.
know, I mean, I seen, I done seen men be in the shop getting a haircut and their car getting repoed.
Mm.
That's real life.
I was in the shop one day when
Yeah,
that happened. I
yeah.
remember that.
But
Yeah.
I don't even recall ever seeing that guy again after that happened. But he didn't know that everyone knows about real life. So you coming back, we wasn't gonna clown you. We understand, bro. You understand? Like men, like
Absolutely.
we just it's like I always just be like women, they in fear of being judged. But I just realized women and men, they in fear of just being judged. And it's like, that don't mean you a loser. You understand what I'm saying? Like what I realized about me, I just realized certain things is like, yo, I'm just not good at that. I need to get some more information on that situation so
Hmm.
this won't keep continue to happen.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I need
Hmm.
to be more disciplined when it comes to my finance. I need to
Hmm.
stop being so free to spend.
Hmm.
It's just again, like I told you before, it's that man, it's that individual in the mirror, man.
Hmm.
And you got to be able to speak honesty and truth to the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
Because the man in the mirror, because it's like a reflection, it can deceive you because
Yes.
it can feed into your nonsense or your ego that you created. You understand? So it's almost like, and this is the thing I live by. I was talking to some brothers yesterday. It's man, I forgot my thought, but it was kind of like,
Said you were talking to some brothers yesterday.
yeah, I was talking to some brothers yesterday.
Hmm.
We was talking about, oh man. I'm talking about, it was right there. It was
Yeah,
right
brother. Yeah.
there.
Hey, check
It's
this
gonna
out,
come to
man.
me. It's gonna
Yeah, it's
come
gonna
to me,
come to you.
man. It's
But check
come
this
to
out,
me.
because
Mhm.
today, it's funny, man. It's funny that it happened to you because today I was having a conversation. No, yesterday. I apologize. I was having a conversation with a brother, and he was speaking, and
Mhm.
when I'm listening, I'm trying to really be an active listener.
Mhm.
So a thought came to my mind, and something comes to your mind, and you think to yourself, "Man, this is a good one," right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And you start to move into that space where you're like kind of chomping. Man, okay. I'm not saying stop talking. I'm just saying, bro, you finished? Because I'm
Yeah,
ready to
yeah,
drop this
yeah.
one. And when he finished his thought and I was ready to go in, it was gone. It
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
so what
yeah,
I had to do
yeah.
was I had to just kind of move on to something else.
Hmm.
And as soon as I did that, it's like that, that brain flow to that, you know,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
nerve ending or whatever it is
Yeah,
opened up, and I was able to remember it. So it'll come back to you, bro,
yeah,
without a doubt.
yeah.
But yeah, but you know, in terms of real life,
Hmm.
I know that's where you were going.
Yeah. I just I was just speaking like in general, like I'm gonna get the thought. It's probably gonna come off air,
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it's just we had created these things to hide behind, like
Mm-hmm.
like social media and different stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
and not realizing that that person isn't the real you.
No.
Like what I used to like about when I was younger, man, like I would say, like when we was younger, we had everything because you can go to the neighbor and get bread, or they can come to your house and get bread. We had everything. Now, the fact that we set off in this journey to be successful and live in subdivisions and have acres of land, it separate us on a deep level. Like I'm talking about deep level, like to where we're not intimate, or we're intimate, i.e., vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
We just want everybody to look at us and feel like we accomplished something. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, man, the 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 confusion came when they created hierarchy.
Mm.
Because when you got a hierarchy, if you don't possess a something that's so-called special in society's eyes, you might look at yourself as less fortunate,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing the person that's the so-called hierarchy might have some insecurities you wouldn't believe. You know what I'm saying? But just because
Exactly.
they got that title and they in that position, you thinking they're better than you. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm.
just like me. I look at everybody on the level, man.
Yes, sir.
Like that
Yes,
water,
sir.
it rises
Yep.
to its level. Like it's
That's
like,
right.
hey,
That's right.
you
You know,
know. Mhm.
yeah. No, no, go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
I was just saying, it's just I'm cordial with everyone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like if I'm working at a job and you got a position higher than me, we still working together.
Yep.
I just, the word boss, I don't know how to use that word. It's like
Mm-hmm.
my coworker, we're working together. Even when I own my shop, when people come in, who own the shop? I'll be like, all of us,
Mm-hmm.
because we all paying the bills. I might be the one that make the decisions and stuff, but now we working together. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
in this reality, man, it just people make things look better than what they really are.
Mm.
And it's kind of like it's fooling the world by storm. Like people are really falling for that. And you got people altering their what they was born with. They getting operations on their lips. It's just it's just deep to see that, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's to
Yeah.
see that, not knocking
Yeah.
what nobody do, but it's like
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
like I'm like I was walking to my car today and I'm like, man, people don't trust God. Like they really don't trust the parents that they was given,
Mm.
because the body that you have, you want to get a surgery to do that. You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like you can work out and just, because you great who you are. Like I said this joke the other day, because you hear guys say, like say if you had a girlfriend and you broke up with her, and I start dating her. Most guys would be like, man, but it's other women out there. And I'm like, it's only one her. Like, it's only one her. So you understand? Like I hear this, people. I hear people say, ain't nobody perfect. I'll be like, speak for yourself. I'll be like,
Right.
listen, man. I'll be like, listen, man. Everybody different. Even if you
Right.
got a twin, you still different, man.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
perfection, bro.
Yep.
Our actions ain't perfect, but even if I got somebody that look just like me, we ain't the
Yep.
same.
Yep. Yep.
You
Yeah,
understand what I'm
bro.
saying?
Bro, listen, man. I literally said the same thing, bro. I was talking to somebody and I was like, uh, we are, but I like the piece that you added there, because what I said was that even if you have a twin, people, identical twins, but they're different.
They ain't
Now,
the same, bro.
they are not the same. But this is the part you just added that to me, that just kind of takes it to the next level. And those differences make us perfect,
Perfect.
because there's nothing, you can only compare things that are identical.
Mm-hmm.
If none of us are identical, bro, that makes all of us perfect.
Man, that's amazing. They said we was made in the image and the likeness, man. So how could you not be perfect? Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, neither do I. And the thing about it is, like you said, the imperfection comes in based on how we are interacting with each other. But I don't even know if that's imperfection
Mm-hmm.
more than it is conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, listen, man, family, this is what I'm talking about. When I talk about me and my brother here, uh, this is how we go in. And what I could assure you of is that this conversation could last until the wee hours of the morning, right? Um, but what we wanted to do as we kind of bring it home was, of course, have our inaugural show, you know, recognize and acknowledge this pivotal month that we're about to come out of in terms of National Suicide Prevention, but then also let all know exactly who we are and where we're going. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in future shows, obviously, you'll learn more about us if you don't know us already, and that's going to be part of the experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, any last thoughts? Last thoughts for the family, bro, before we call it a before we cap it off
I'm
for
gonna
this
I'm,
time.
I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say this to the family. If it's not conducive to positive progression, get it out of your head.
Mm,
If it's not conducive to being happy and interacting with your neighbors, you
mm,
understand? Like, I ain't talking
mhm.
about your next door neighbors. I'm just talking about your neighbors.
Mhm.
The thought came back to me, bro.
Yeah, okay. I
I
knew
was
that was going to
talking to
happen. Go ahead,
them
bro.
to saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and we're all children. You
Mm,
understand? We're
mhm.
all, they say we children of the most high. We're all children, so we need each other to raise each other, not just our children. I'm talking about you and I. We need
Right,
each other to help raise each other,
right, right.
alluding to the intimacy you was talking about. We
Yes,
need
sir.
each other. We belong to the village.
Right.
Like, when I hear my this and my that, it's like, that's possession. That's slavery.
Mhm,
We
mhm,
belong to, we owe this to the village. And when I say the village, I mean the world.
mhm.
The experiences that you lived and overcame that became wisdom, that's your message. And your purpose is to share your message in life. We all have a purpose, and our purpose is to share our experiences, our wisdom from what we learn with one another. And it'll help another person or people from going down that same dark path.
Mm.
You know, human beings are these special individuals that like to get their hand burnt sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But some people you come in contact with, they don't need that. Because I was speaking to a guy the other day, and I'm not going to take it, but I was speaking to a guy the other day. I hadn't seen him in a month. And he said, the last time I spoke with you, I started seeing everything that you was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, he didn't even know to look for it. So when you speaking from experiences, it opens up people's mind's eye to be like, yeah, I ain't going down there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like I said, it takes a village to raise a child, and we're all children.
Bro, that's powerful. And uh I want you to know I'm listening to everything you're saying, bro. And I got a page full of notes here. And you know, when we debrief for this show and then talk about the next one, we'll kind of go through some of the stuff. Because there's just so much here, man. But you know, I guess if I had a closing thought uh for this show, it would be, you know, trust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, for so many of us, uh, I think because of the experiences that we've been through
Mm-hmm.
and a number of the choices that we've made, one of the areas that we've become most damaged in is in our ability to trust ourselves, to
Mm-hmm.
trust our gut, to trust our instinct. And as men, that instinct, that gut is crucial.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of what makes us men
Mm-hmm.
in terms of some of the things that we do, some of our traits and characteristics and our nature. And I want to encourage anyone that hears this show, listen to it, listen to it again, listen again. Because what's going to happen is the more you listen, it's going to start to expose things about yourself to yourself. And as that's happening, what that's really going to do is it's going to help you to learn to trust yourself. So that would be watch watch the podcast again, watch it again, watch it again. But then also, and this is real important, share it with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, we all have these networks, and within our networks, you know, if you're a woman listening to this right now, you know, while it may not seem like it's directly for you, it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if there are men in your life, share this podcast with them. Tell them, yo, you need to subscribe to this. You need to follow this. You need to like this because I'm telling you, family, as you're listening to this, where we're going, lives will be changed. We will be made better
Mm-hmm.
as a result of it
Mm-hmm.
because that's what this is all about. You know, last thing before we go, bro, any plugs you want to give for anything you're doing that you want to let our listeners know about, anything happening with the family, you know, well, we family, but
Yeah,
anything
yeah, yeah,
happening,
yeah.
you know, with the family at home that, you know, you want to share so that they're aware of as well.
Uh, well, I want to mention, you know, I'm gonna say that, but the thing is, I got another podcast that I put together. It's called The Good Villain because
Hmm.
you know, I have good intentions, but my message can be abrasive because it's not a normal message in reference to relationships and people and how people think. It's kind of like, we go into it because it got to do with men and, men and how they think and the things they be angry about. It's just, a lot of times men be so focused on this, what men supposed to do, and they don't know is make them more like a woman. But we're gonna talk about that another day.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got my I spoke to you about my mom and my dad, and
Yeah.
everybody is dealing with they. I'm gonna fill you in on my father when we get off this.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
And for those that are listening, of course, you just heard the youngest member of my household, which is the little dog that has the biggest bite, biggest bark.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah, that's what's up, man. And so again, because I do a podcast,
Mhm.
Master Your Moment,
Yeah.
and and
Is
what
it
I would
moment or
say,
moments? Is it
moment,
moment?
moment,
All right.
yeah, moment by
Master your
moment,
moment.
brother,
Okay, I
master
got you.
your
I got
moment.
you. All right.
But but the thing that I'm just one of the reasons that I'm sharing that is because um, I think that for anybody that listens to your podcast, the one you're working and the one I'm working, or anything that we're doing, that what they're going to see, is a very clear, consistent thread.
Mhm.
Whether we're doing something together or we're doing something
Yeah,
separate in
definitely.
terms of our platform, and why I appreciate that so much is because to me it just speaks to the authenticity
Mhm.
that we operate in, and have operated in. So I want to encourage, if you're listening to brother, you know, you need to also follow my brother on his podcast. You need to
Mhm.
listen to that. You need
Mhm.
to listen to Master Your Moment, because all of it is about, you know, strengthening the body.
Mhm.
And the stronger we all become, the better we are. We're gonna tear down some stuff, man. I'm
Mhm.
gonna just say that, bro.
Mhm.
What was that book that remember that book we were reading? Um Man, Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Hey man,
Definitely. Yeah.
I may need to go read that again so
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
parlay some of that into these conversations.
I was talking
But
about him today too.
were you?
The devil.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
yeah. He's something else, man. I ran into him down the street
Hey,
over the last weekend, and
you must have
he
ran
was trying to
into a
stop.
you must have ran into a mirror then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
told a guy that
Uh,
said, man, he's talking about the devil. I'm like, man, the devil's in the mirror, man. Stop trying to blame
yeah,
people
brother.
for your
Yeah, brother.
shortcomings. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
brother.
saying? Like,
Hey, we're perfect, and
definitely.
what we have to grasp. We're gonna cut it off right now, family, because I'm gonna tell you we'll be doing this again. But what we
Yeah.
got to grasp is that we are perfectly good and we are perfectly evil,
Man,
and and learning to embrace all of that is, man, more than half the battle. You know what I'm
man,
saying? But
man.
yeah. I'm gonna write that down in a minute as soon as we go up there. But I got a couple of yours that I'm gonna share with you. A couple of your quotes, bro. We're gonna get those out there. But listen, family, thank you so much for rocking with us on this show, um, the Brother to Brother podcast. Much more to come. You know, uh, Real solutions for real men in real life, and that's what we're about. That's what this show is about. So thank you so much for spending some time with us on this beautiful day. If you notice, we both, man, how we both have the world behind us, right? See,
Mhm.
you you all don't really know where Morpheus is at in all of that, and you don't know where I'm at. See, you might think we're in the same place, but the reality is that's a big globe behind us,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And that's how we approach this thing, man. Is that
Yeah.
it's universal.
Mhm.
Hey, like you ever watch I know you ever watch Country Wayne and the dude Mike on his show. He's got this vending machine business. He calls it global, right? It's global. So what we're doing is universal, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We are, we're everywhere, man.
yeah.
But bro, appreciate you, man. Love you to death, man.
I love
And
you. I
you know
love you
how
to
that
life.
goes, man. Yeah, hey, there you go, bro. Listen. So if we so I love you to death, you love me to life. That means that I'm going in one direction, you going in the other, and that means we're gonna meet somewhere at some point. We just
That's
keep
that
loving
yin
each
and
other
that's
in
that
those
yin and
directions.
yang right there.
Yeah,
Yin
there
and
you
yang.
go, brother.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
I tell you, this water, man. But the earth is is predominantly water, man. That means that if you're in the water and you're going in the water, you stay out there long enough, eventually you're gonna see the person, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows how long it's gonna take? Hey, man, but for real, man, good rapping with you, man. We'll chop it up again. Family, thanks so much. It's the Brother to Brother podcast. Peace.
Salute. Peace.